The glow of the phone screen illuminated Jake's face. His eyes were fixated on the image before him. Bella, the Instagram model, her beauty was otherworldly.
I felt a knot in my stomach, a mix of longing and inadequacy.
Jake swiped through her photos, each one a carefully curated glimpse into a life he craved. Exotic vacations, designer clothes, admirers.
I'm just Jake, a face in the crowd at Northwood High.
Bella represented escape, a fantasy in the desert of his ordinary life. Jake's room was a testament to his unremarkable existence. Clothes were strewn across the floor, textbooks lay open, and a half-eaten pizza sat on his nightstand.
I glanced at the mirror, catching a glimpse of my reflection.
He wasn't ugly, but he wasn't anything special either.
They were the stars, the heroes. I was invisible, forgettable.
He picked up his phone again, his thumb hovering over the Instagram icon. Bella's world offered an escape.
She was at a party, surrounded by people I didn't recognize.
He imagined himself there by her side.
I craved recognition, validation. I wanted to matter.
In Bella, he saw a glimmer of hope. What he didn't realize was that this desire was about to lead him down a dangerous path, a path that promised to fulfill his deepest desires, but at a terrible, terrible price. The hum of the computer filled the silence of Jake's room. It was past midnight. He had stumbled into a corner of the internet he hadn't known existed.
How to get your crush to notice you.
The algorithm led him down a rabbit hole of unsettling websites.
I knew I should log off, but curiosity beckoned me deeper.
He clicked on a link titled Love Spells, Guaranteed Results. The website was Spartan, almost primitive in its design.
Make her yours forever. Bind her heart to yours.
Jake's rational mind screamed at him to close the tab.
What if it's real? What if there's a way to make Bella mine?
He scrolled down the page, his finger hovering over the mouse.
For those who dare to claim what they desire, contact the Oracle.
Below an email address, theoracle@shadowmail.com. His heart pounded in his chest. The reply came almost instantly.
You seek a powerful magic, young one, a magic that comes with a price.
I'll do anything. Just tell me what you need.
At that moment, nothing else mattered. The Oracle's next email was even more cryptic.
There is a ritual, an ancient curse. It will bind her to you, body and soul.
A shiver ran down Jake's spine.
Tell me what I need to do.
He had made his choice. He just didn't realize the darkness it would unleash. The Oracle's instructions arrived cloaked in an unsettling air of authenticity. He assembled the necessary elements: a single black candle, a silver mirror, a lock of his own hair, midnight, the witching hour.
This feels different, darker than I anticipated.
Taking a deep breath, Jake began to recite the incantation. Each syllable seemed to vibrate with an energy that sent a shiver down his spine. Morning arrived, painting the sky with hues of normalcy.
A notification, a message from Bella.
He felt a surge of adrenaline.
Hi Bella, how are you?
Their conversation flowed effortlessly, each exchanged message chipping away at the wall between them.
I can't believe she's actually talking to me.
Jake found himself captivated, consumed by Bella's every word. Their online interactions blossomed into something deeper. Their online relationship spilled over into the real world. Dates at the park, evenings at the cinema, stolen kisses under the starlit sky.
Something feels off.
Bella seemed different. Her laughter felt hollow, her touch lacking warmth.
Jake, where are you going? Stay with me.
She became increasingly possessive, her moods shifting unpredictably.
She's fine. We're just really close now.
He refused to acknowledge the unsettling shift in Bella. He had what he desired, but at what cost? He had captured Bella's heart, but in doing so, he had trapped something else entirely. The party pulsed around them.
Bella, are you okay?
He tried to catch her gaze, but her eyes slid past him, empty and cold. The laughter of their friends washed over him.
This isn't right. This isn't her.
He had wished for this, hadn't he? For Bella to be his, completely and utterly. But this wasn't her. This was something else, something twisted and wrong. Panic welled up inside him, cold and suffocating. Later that night, as Jake drove Bella home, an unsettling silence stretched between them.
Are you okay?
She turned to him, a flicker of recognition in her eyes.
I'm perfect.
Her hand, resting on his thigh, tightened its grip. It felt cold, almost alien, as if something otherworldly had taken root within her. The doubts that plagued Jake during the day intensified tenfold at night. Sleep became a battleground of unsettling dreams. He would wake in a cold sweat, the feeling of Bella's vacant eyes lingering. In the pale moonlight, her pupils seemed to dilate, consuming the light.
This isn't just a phase.
The ritual had taken hold, warping her into something he barely recognized. He had gotten what he wished for, but at a terrible cost. What had he unleashed? And what would be the ultimate cost of his obsession? A cold sweat slicked Jake's skin. He shot up in bed, his heart hammering against his ribs like a frantic prisoner. The room was dark, the silence thick and heavy, pressing down on him like a suffocating blanket. He could feel it, a presence, cold and malevolent, watching him from the shadows. He strained to see through the darkness, his eyes scanning every corner of the room. The digital clock on his nightstand glowed an accusing red 12 a.m. Midnight. A chill snaked down his spine. It was happening again. The air grew colder, the shadows deepening, twisting into grotesque shapes that danced at the edge of his vision. He could feel his breath catching in his throat, each inhale a shallow gasp. He wanted to call out, to scream for his parents, but fear had him paralyzed. He was frozen in place, his eyes fixed on the corner of the room where the shadows seemed to coalesce into a single terrifying form. Slowly, deliberately, the figure began to emerge from the darkness. It wasn't human. That much was certain. The figure stood tall and imposing, cloaked in a darkness so profound it seemed to absorb the very light around it. 2 points of crimson fire blazed from beneath its hood, piercing Jake with a gaze that felt both ancient and infinitely knowing. He tried to speak, to scream, but his voice died in his throat, a strangled whimper lost in the stillness of the room. The figure glided closer, each step silent, purposeful, as if it were treading on air itself. A wave of nausea washed over Jake, the stench of sulfur and decay filling his nostrils.
You wished for something, and I granted your desire.
Jake's mind reeled. It couldn't be. This was impossible, a figment of his guilt-ridden imagination, a nightmare come to life. But deep down, a terrifying certainty began to take hold. He knew, with a sinking dread, exactly who stood before him. The devil. The devil extended a hand, his long, pale fingers ending in nails that gleamed like polished obsidian. In his palm lay a contract, the parchment aged and brittle, the ink a swirling mass of arcane symbols that seemed to writhe and pulsate under his gaze.
You sought to possess a heart, but love, true love, cannot be coerced. It must be given freely.
Jake wanted to look away, to deny the truth in the devil's words, but he found himself transfixed, drawn in by the creature's hypnotic gaze.
You invoked an ancient power, a magic that comes at a steep price, a soul for a soul. That was the bargain.
Jake's breath hitched in his throat. He had known, deep down, that there would be consequences for his actions. But the reality of the situation, the sheer magnitude of his mistake, slammed into him with the force of a physical blow.
To keep what you have gained, you must spread the curse. Find others who crave what they cannot have, who are willing to pay any price for a taste of forbidden fruit.
The contract seemed to pulse with a malevolent energy, its words burning themselves into Jake's mind. He had a choice to make: to defy the devil and face the consequences of his actions, to lose Bella and face the wrath of a being beyond his comprehension, or to embrace the darkness, to become a pawn in the devil's twisted game and condemn others to the same fate that awaited him. The world became a blur of shadows and whispers. Jake moved through his days like a ghost, his thoughts consumed by the devil's bargain.
I saw potential victims everywhere. A heartbroken classmate, a lonely widower, a desperate soul yearning for a love that seemed out of reach. Each interaction, every whispered word of temptation, chipped away at the remnants of my conscience. I had become a peddler of false hope, a conduit for the devil's twisted desires.
And with each soul he ensnared, the darkness within him grew stronger, choking the light that had once flickered within him. His nights were haunted by nightmares, vivid and terrifying.
I saw the faces of those I had cursed, their eyes accusing, their voices echoing my name in the desolate landscape of my dreams. I would wake in a cold sweat, the weight of my actions pressing down on me with suffocating force.
He tried to find solace in Bella's presence, to convince himself that his sacrifices were worth it. But the emptiness in her eyes, the chilling lack of emotion in her touch, served only as a constant reminder of the monstrous thing he had become. One sunny afternoon, as Jake sat in a crowded cafe, his heart heavy with guilt and despair, he saw her. Bella. She was laughing, her head thrown back, her eyes sparkling with a genuine joy he hadn't witnessed in months. But she wasn't laughing with him.
My blood ran cold as I watched her, my breath catching in my throat. She was with another man, someone I didn't recognize. He was everything I was not. Tall, confident, his eyes radiating a warmth and vitality that seemed to draw Bella in like a moth to a flame. She looked free.
The spell, the curse that had held her captive for so long, seemed to have lifted. It was as if a dark cloud had parted, revealing the vibrant, captivating Bella he had fallen for all those months ago. Despair washed over Jake, cold and suffocating.
I watched as Bella leaned in, her hand resting lightly on the stranger's arm, her laughter echoing through the cafe, a sound both beautiful and agonizingly painful.
The devil had kept his end of the bargain. Bella was no longer under his control. The curse had lifted, but the price had been paid, and it was a price far greater than Jake could have ever imagined.
I had sacrificed my soul, my morals, my very humanity, for a love that was never truly mine. I had condemned others to the same fate, spreading misery and despair like a plague upon the world. And for what? A hollow victory, a fleeting illusion of happiness that had evaporated like a mirage in the desert.
Now, he was utterly alone, abandoned by the girl he thought he loved, haunted by the faces of those he had betrayed. The world around him seemed to crumble, the walls of his room closing in, the air thick with the stench of decay and the bitter taste of regret.
I'd traded my soul for a wish, and in the end, all I had left were ashes and echoes. As the shadows deepened around me, a chilling certainty settled upon my heart. The devil would be coming for me soon, and I would be ready.
Jake's tale serves as a chilling parable, a stark reminder that the pursuit of superficial desires can have devastating consequences. His obsession with Bella, fueled by vanity and a yearning for validation, blinded him to the true nature of love and happiness. He sought to possess her, to mold her into his ideal, but in doing so, he destroyed the very essence of the girl he claimed to love. He traded his soul for a shallow fantasy, becoming a puppet in the devil's game, spreading misery and despair in a desperate attempt to cling to his ill-gotten prize. In the end, Jake lost everything: his love, his friends, his family, his very soul. He became a prisoner of his own making, trapped in a cycle of darkness and regret, a testament to the insidious nature of unchecked desire. His story stands as a cautionary tale, a reminder that true fulfillment lies not in superficial pursuits, but in embracing genuine connection, compassion, and the enduring power of our own humanity. The pursuit of fleeting pleasure can lead to eternal damnation. Jake's obsession with Bella, fueled by vanity and the desire for social validation, ultimately cost him his soul. He became a slave to the devil, forced to spread misery and despair in a futile attempt to hold on to his hollow victory. His story serves as a chilling reminder that true happiness cannot be found in the pursuit of superficial desires or the manipulation of others. It lies in embracing our shared humanity, in valuing genuine connection over fleeting pleasure, and in recognizing the inherent worth of every individual. Jake's fate stands as a stark warning, a testament to the profound consequences of sacrificing our values for the illusion of love and the allure of the forbidden. The price of vanity, he learned too late, is far greater than we can ever truly comprehend.